It's 2024, and I think we finally need to say goodbye to 1080p monitors. And I think I found the best way for you to finally make that jump to 1440p. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chamber here, and today I will be reviewing the Titan Army P27A2R 1440p 180Hz gaming monitor. Before we get into this review at all, I do want to say this was sent out to me by Titan Army, but none of my opinions and none of anything I'm saying is being affected by them. These are all my own thoughts. So I feel like most of the times when people are buying a monitor, especially if they're first getting into gaming, they're going to typically buy a 1080p monitor. I feel like that's pretty typical. I mean, 1080p is cheap and you can play games on it. It's pretty much all you need for a gaming monitor when you're in a budget. But over the past couple of months, 1440p has gotten extremely cheap. Now, when Titan Army originally messaged me about sending out this monitor, it was $250. By the time they had shipped it out, it was $200 on Amazon. And now with a $30 coupon that hopefully is still available by the time that I post this video, there will be an affiliate link down below, by the way. There's a $30 off coupon, making this only $170. Starting off this review, one thing I really did like though was when you open up the monitor, it comes in the monitor's box that's shipped in it, and it had the instructions printed on the top of the box. It's really simple. You put the stand together, really easy, which is a little screw on the bottom, and then you clip it into the monitor, and there you go. Included in the box is also the power cable, which you need. Sadly, it does have an external power brick. This is a super thin monitor, so I get like why you need it, but just having like the internal power supply is just so much nicer for me. Would be kind of worth it having it be a little thicker. The stand is actually really well. I'm not using the stand. I have all my monitors mounted, and this does have a VESA 75x75 mount, so it worked perfectly fine on my mount. It comes with standoffs so that you have to screw in if you do want to actually use the VESA compatibility, because the actual mount can't go in just because it's 100 by 100. So luckily they provide standoffs, which is something that you need. Now, for 1440p and 180 hertz, getting that for $170 is an insane deal. And also just going from 24 inches to 27 inches in most games is insane, especially if you play something like single player games. To go over some other kind of specs, it has adaptive sync, so like FreeSync kind of G-Sync, so it'll work on your refresh rate. Let's say you don't have as powerful of a GPU in certain games to push 180 FPS, you won't notice any tearing. So just to kind of compare this a little bit in price wise to some other kind of similar options, the cheapest 144 hertz 1440p I could find on Amazon was $151. Okay, $20 more, you're getting to 180 hertz. The cheapest 165 hertz, which is typically like a pretty kind of normal resolution, refresh rate now, I feel like it's $160 for 170 hertz. Okay, so for $10 more, you get 10 more hertz. I think that's worth it. And I'm going to explain why I think 180 hertz is kind of that sweet spot right now, where the cheapest 240 hertz I found was $250, but on sale for $300. So it feels like after 180 hertz, the kind of like performance per dollar really kind of goes off the spectrum. I'm going to be honest though, I have a 270 hertz 1440p monitor. I'm not going to switch to the 180 hertz. The 270 hertz does feel faster. You can feel it just moving around on the desktop. But to be honest, in a game, it feels fine. I mean, like if I was playing with like a weaker graphics card or something, if I didn't have a 4090, 180 hertz would be fine. I'm not going to like hate on it at all. I think it's pretty good. That's once again where that adaptive sync really does come into play. But Chamber, what about the colors? I'm not a professional monitor reviewer. I don't have a colorimeter or whatever it's called to make sure the sRGB levels are perfect. No, I use my eyes because my eyes are really well. And what I can say is I could see enemies on my screen very well, which is what you need in a gaming monitor. I don't care about delta E values. Now let's actually go into the OSD. I'm just going to record it on my phone, and let's see, okay, what kind of settings do I recommend, what does it look like, what does the OSD kind of look like, and then we'll wrap it up. Here we have the monitor itself. It looks pretty well VESA mounted, but now let's kind of zoom in. Wonder what that is. But so to actually get into the OSD, you have to hit this button. So there's multiple ways. Obviously, you can go 4 ways. So move it to the left. You get to choose your inputs. Doesn't matter to me. So I'm just going to exit. You can point up, which will get you kind of this contextual mode. Contextual mode is what they call it. So it goes between movie, reading, and like. So this is a reading or kind of like a nighttime. Hits that blue light filter, which is pretty good for most people. A kind of reading one, which kind of makes it a little brighter. And then movie, which kind of saturates the colors. Kind of like a vivid mode almost. But let's just exit that. Now, to hit the joystick to the right. Actually, we'll hit it down first. You get some cheater thing. I don't like crosshairs on your monitor. If you need to use them, I don't really know why. I mean, it could be a good, nice gaming feature, but let's just exit out. Push it to the right, and you get the main kind of thing. So there's plenty of options here. You can choose between different kind of modes. So you can have your standard mode between, which is like kind of like your color calibrated mode is what I've kind of seen it as. RTS, RPG. For most people, I feel like most of my viewers were gamers, so we're going to set the FPS mode. Adaptive sync. If you're getting like over 100 FPS in your games, switch this off. But for me, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to keep it on now, just because in case anything happens. All right, let's get back into here. And now shadow balance. So what shadow balance is this kind of like a black boost kind of thing. So if I, let's look right here on my monitor. So as I turn it up, it kind of brightens the whole display, basically trying to make it so that those shadows, like if an enemy is hiding in the corner in Counter-Strike, that you're not going to notice it. But I think it kind of washes it out. I do like it at 50 though. I think you can still see a lot of enemies at 50. Sorry for the unfocusing. Let's get it back. And now keep going down. Response time. So there's multiple ones. The gaming preset will set to ultra fast. This has a little bit of ghosting though from my experience. So what I like to do is just set this to fast. Refresh rate. This is kind of like just ties into the FreeSync kind of thing, where it'll see kind of your FPS or your refresh rate. Crosshair doesn't matter. Time, I guess that's if you want to set a limit for yourself with gaming, but we have no limits here. And then contextual mode, we don't need to touch any of this. Sharpness. Now, for me, just looking at the desktop, I like to keep this kind of at 1 or 0. But if you were like playing a game and you want, like, I feel like most games don't have the best clarity sometimes. So I like to turn this up all the way. And it does make text a lot sharper, as you can kind of tell up there, but it does help. But I'm going to lower this back down just because for daily use, it doesn't really matter. Color settings. I found that either cool or natural is the best. Warm makes it very, very yellow. Even this is a little yellow. That's why I kind of like the cool. Honestly, using something like the user is very good as well. Hue, saturation, we don't care. OSD settings, these are just kind of typical settings, and everything else is pretty much not important for gaming. There is a USB port, sorry, not a USB, what am I saying? An audio port on the back, and that does actually allow you to plug in your headphones so you can listen to it. But let's get back to me. Well, there we have it. That is my review of the Titan Army P27AR. Honestly, it is a great monitor, something I really would recommend to most people, especially if you really want to get that upgrade. Maybe you have like a 1080p 144 hertz and you've been holding out for years. Now is finally the time to get that nice high quality monitor, as well as this has HDMI 2.0, so that if you have something like an Xbox or a PS5, you can plug it in. Obviously, it'll only work at 120 hertz, but for the price, like, that is amazing. And you're going to notice the difference between 1080p. So, conclusion. If you're ready to upgrade to 1440p, this is the best value monitor to get. Link will be down below, affiliate link, as well as where you can support me and join me in the Discord. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.